Hey guys, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and everything in between. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's get into it, friends. Professor fails me because he suspects I was using ChatGPT. I'll use it now for real. And I'm sure most of us know already, but for those who don't, ChatGPT is an AI. You can give it a prompt and it'll write things for you. I'm doing a course with a lot of written assessments. There was a professor that most of the students loathed. He was very eccentric and arbitrary in his application of discipline. He consistently accused me of using ChatGPT to write my assignments. I politely and submissively pleaded my case. I offered to use Google Docs and show the professor my revision history. I had even offered to write all of my essays at his office at a time convenient to him, but this all fell on deaf ears. I was suspended for a semester and had to repeat his class. I emailed the dean, requesting whether I could be placed in the other professor's class, but my request was met with great vitriol, with the dean threatening to expel me for scapegoating and bullying the professor. I was in his class again and had to submit our first essay. My trick for the rest of the semester? I wrote normal 1,000-word essays by myself, and then asked ChatGPT, "Hi ChatGPT, can you please write this 1,000-word essay using the grammar and vocabulary of a high school freshman? Insert my essay here. Please include all points and paragraphs." I then proofread and edit the essay. I've now passed his class, out of spite, deception, and by doing the very thing he'd asked me not to do. So I'm assuming this professor only accused OP of using ChatGPT because their grammar and writing skills were too good. That's what it looks like. So they instead used ChatGPT to rewrite it and make it worse. It's pretty ironic to discipline your students for performing too well, and then it just results in them doing what you don't want them to do. But I also don't understand how they were able to get away with suspending OP just because they suspected he was using AI, especially when OP even offered to prove that they were actually writing it with revision history and whatnot. Entitled man kicks me. I'm a 31-year-old he/him brain cancer patient. Cancer took out my leg. I'm partially paralyzed on my right leg and have severe nerve pain in that leg heading up my back. I'm sitting in the disabled seat on the bus, and let me tell you, I have less fingers than stories of people telling me I don't look disabled, and dirty looks, until they see me limp off the bus. Anyway, I am coming back from treatment and this guy gets on and straight up kicks me hard in the leg. He then proceeded to lecture me how it didn't hurt, and that having cancer doesn't entitle me to a disabled seat. We had a back and forth at this point since he kicked me. I called him out. And I'm over here thinking how dumb this guy is. He claims he did it to find a place to sit. So you kick a cancer patient? In context, I look sick. People are listening to me tear into this jerk and he is trying to rally people to his side, and they just look at him like he's nuts, because the shoe fits. I get up, call him princess. Not the wisest choice. Certainly should have just reported him, but the cheese slid off my cracker at this point, and got off. But yeah, that's my entitled person's story of how a Karen tried to literally kick me out of a disabled bus seat. Entitled Army Wife versus Major General. My friend, who I'll call Lucy, lives in a town with a pretty good-sized army base. To make some money between semesters of college, Lucy took a summer job as a waitress at a local restaurant that is popular with the officers and their families. It was a Friday evening, so it was packed. There's at least an hour wait, the kitchen is zipping, and Lucy and her coworkers are on their toes. Fortunately, it's mostly regulars, so they're patient and even leaving nice tips and paying compliments to the waitstaff/owner. Enter Karen. Karen, who Lucy had never seen before, was seated in Lucy's section and begins the usual Karen tirades, complaining about the wait, sending her pasta dish back a total of 3 times because it wasn't cooked just right, husband's rank name-dropping, yada yada yada. Lucy, easily the most patient and kind-hearted person I've ever met, but even she was getting frustrated. Then the bombshell dropped. Like most places in this town, the restaurant offers a military discount. However, thanks to this being abused in the past, people wanting the military discount must show their military ID in order to qualify. There are signs posted on the doors and in the menus stating this. Most patrons are understanding of this. But as you can guess, Karen is not one of those people. It's time for the check, and Karen asks for the military discount. Lucy, polite as ever, asks for Karen's military ID. "What did you say?" said Karen. "Can you please present your military ID for the discount? Don't you know who I am?" "I'm sorry, ma'am, but company rules state that your ID must be shown to get the discount." "Are you calling me a liar?" "No, ma'am, but in order to qualify for the discount, you must show your military ID." "My husband is Kyle, married to a B-word. He's a second lieutenant at the army base, and he knows people." Lucy is trying to keep her cool, but she told me that she wanted to cry. "I know people. I can make sure you never get a job in this town again. You're so stupid. You're probably some college dropout who will never amount to nothing." By this point, everyone is silent, and even the owner is coming over. An older woman from another section, who Lucy has never seen before either, gets up and comes over. The woman, who I'll call Belle, taps Karen on the shoulder. Karen stops her tirade, whips around, her face turning 50 shades of red and purple, stares Belle down. "What do you want?" Karen said. Belle is calm and says, "You're going to apologize to this young lady, pay in full, and leave a generous tip." "Who the frick are you?" "Someone who can make things very difficult for your husband." "I don't have to stand for this." She grabs her purse. "I'll tell so many people just how much this place sucks that nobody will want to come here anymore." Karen storms off, pushing the owner hard enough for him to fall to the ground and left. According to Lucy, it was so silent that you can hear a pin drop for at least a minute. Belle helps the owner to his feet, makes sure he's okay, then turns to Lucy. "Are you okay?" asked Belle. Lucy, still shaken, says, "Thank you, I'm okay. I'd like to apologize on behalf of the base. That was completely uncalled for." Turns to owner. "I'd also like to compensate for the meal and tip as an apology." "There's no need, ma'am," said the owner. "I insist." "Thank you, ma'am." Belle returned to her seat and the night continued. Belle and her husband came by to check on Lucy before leaving and promised to come back for dinner the next Friday. It wasn't until Monday afternoon, when Kyle, Karen's husband, went to the restaurant to apologize, that Lucy learned what went down. It turned out that Belle was the Major General who had just been posted to the base. That morning, Belle had him summoned to her office for a little chat. Because it happened off base, he was mortified and offered to reimburse Belle for the check and tip. He didn't get into trouble. However, he was warned that Karen's behavior could make things difficult for his career. He made sure Karen got a verbal "got torn up one side and down the other" on the phone when he was done. In this town, gossip spreads faster than the flu. Karen never darkened the door of the restaurant again, but the rest of the town made sure Karen knew she wasn't welcome. Belle kept her word and showed up every Friday evening for dinner with her husband. According to Lucy, she was a classy lady, and even if she didn't sit in Lucy's section, she'd make sure to tell Lucy hello and leave her a nice tip. And that brings us to another story about Belle and her experiences with entitled army wives. You want me to get the attention of your husband's CO? It's your funeral. So over the past few days, I've become friends with a retired army officer that I'll call Belle. She's been delighting me with stories of her service, and she shared this wonderful story that I think you all will enjoy. Belle was a young second lieutenant at her first posting. As she put it, "My college diploma hadn't even arrived in the mail and I was scared as hell. Fortunately, she got on the NCO's good side and settled in pretty nicely." One afternoon, she was at work when in storms an officer's wife, quote, looking like she was in the mood to cause hell. Belle keeps her head down, trying to stay busy, when she hears the dreaded words, "I'm talking to you, soldier." Belle looked up and saw the woman, let's call her Karen because why not, standing in front of her. "Can I help you, ma'am?" Belle asked. "Yeah, I'm Major I'm so important's wife, and I need to speak to Colonel Stone." "Do you have an appointment? He's busy," Belle asked. "Just go get him. I'll stand right here until you do." Belle looks around, wondering what the hell she's supposed to do. She didn't want to risk her job because Colonel Stone was known around the base for having a fierce temper. "I'll have you knocked back down to private if you don't do as I say," Karen shouts. "Now move." Wanting to get away, Belle got up and walked towards the colonel's office, intending to get away for a long enough coffee break that Karen will forget. When she looked back, she sees Karen is watching her like a hawk. So there goes that plan. Colonel Stone's door is closed and Belle knocks on the door. "Yes?" Colonel Stone barked. "Sir, it's Second Lieutenant Belle Smith," she said. "Come in." Belle opens the door, does the customary salute, and he immediately notices how nervous she is. "What is it?" Major McI'm-so-important's wife is here and she wants to speak to you, Belle said, her voice squeaking. Does she have an appointment? She just said to go get you and she wouldn't leave until you saw her. I see. Did she threaten to knock you down to private? She did. Colonel Stone nodded and then said in a voice that scared Belle, Send her in. Belle salutes and then goes back to Karen. Karen looks absolutely smug. He'll see you now, Belle said. See? Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Karen said, strolling over to the colonel's office. It's at this point that a first sergeant named Sanders comes in. He just sits down and as the office door closes, he counts down in a low voice. 3, 2, 1. What the hell were you thinking? Colonel Stone shouted. For a good 5 minutes, he proceeded to tear Karen a new butthole, telling her that she isn't permitted to wear her husband's rank, and that if she tries pulling anything like that ever again, her husband will be busted down to private faster than he could sneeze. Karen left the office like a bat out of hell, white as a sheet and quaking. Belle never saw her again, but she and the major got divorced shortly afterwards. According to Belle, he realized what a liability she'd be to his career. Sold me eggs, but told me I have to give them back if she needed them. The situation is so dumb and I'm so confused. I feel like I'm the crazy one. I have a lady I buy my eggs from, instead of buying eggs from the store. Yesterday I went to pick up a couple of dozen like I usually do. She told me she might run out, and if she does, she'll want the eggs back. What? Not buy them back, but she expects me to just give them back. I was so confused, because won't her chickens still be laying eggs every day? I admit I don't know much about chickens. I clarified that she was meaning she would ask me for the eggs back that I just bought. She says yes. I told her to just keep one of the dozens if she thought she would run out. She needed the couple bucks she was getting from me for the eggs, so not selling them to me wasn't an option. I said, okay, but you'll be refunding me the money I spent if I have to give them back. She got mad. She expected me to pay for these eggs and then just give them back to her for free when she runs out. Am I wrong? Am I the crazy one here? After this interaction, I'm going back to just buying them at the store, because this doesn't seem right. It's hilarious and irritating. Edit. She wasn't meaning give her the egg cartons back. I use my own cartons. If she needed the cartons I had, I would have given them to her. I've saved those for her in the past. She was definitely meaning she wanted me to give her the eggs back and that she wouldn't be giving me my money back. And that's all for today's stories. Thank you for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe for more. So have an awesome day, take care, and I'll see you next time.